How's it going, everybody? Welcome back into another unfortunately disappointing Monday night GG Sports Podcast live stream. Obviously, coming off the 27-24 overtime loss to the Cincinnati Bengals on Saturday. A lot to unpack from that game. Saw a lot of really good things, but also a lot of very frustrating things that definitely need to be questioned and addressed, which I'm sure we'll get into all of those throughout our time on here. But I mean, I guess it kind of is what it is. Sitting at 7-7 and three really big, important divisional matchups coming up. So I mean, it's these ones are. I feel like these next two are must wins. Like I mean, it sounds. I believe if we win these next two, we're basically a shoo-in for the playoffs. But I mean, you gave up 2 or 3 really good opportunities in the last month to come away with wins and really solidify your standing. And now you're kind of in that scenario where you have tough games at the next two at home against divisional rivals, but got to find a way to come away with both of them. Absolutely have to.
Yeah. Let me do some shout outs here. I mean, obviously, we didn't make it on last week. Last Monday, I came in late from California, and then last Wednesday, I got sick and still kind of dealing with that a little bit. But hey, we had to be here today. Let me do some shout outs here. We got our boy Gary in the building. We got Skull for Life Barber in the building. JJ is in here. Uncle Jamie, House, California, spent some time there, so I know it's beautiful. I'm back now. I've been back about a week today, actually, JJ. But it was good. It was good to see my wife's from California, so we went there and seen the family and all that kind of good stuff. Music in the Misery, our guy. What up, Music? Who else we got in here? Anybody else? Chandler should be RB1, dude. Definitely. Oh yeah. With the hashtag Skulls in here already. We're gonna do another guy. I mean, we already mentioned Ty Chandler. We're gonna get into it. Hey, what up, Rap? But another player that had a big day
finally got some of these.
Our rookie Jordan Addison. So we are gonna give away a Jordan Addison rookie card. Get those hashtag Skulls in the comments, all that good stuff. Like the video, subscribe, whatever. Yeah, back to this game. Yeah, it was rough. I mean, you think we're used to it? I mean, kind of are used to it. I mean, to be honest, at the end of that game, I felt like we had it in the bag. Like I thought we were just gonna win that game or whatever. So. And usually, a lot of times, I don't let myself believe that, but for some reason, I just did. And then, I mean, at the same time as when we ended up losing, I'm still not that surprised. I mean, it's our third time doing something like this, similar to this or whatever in the last 4 games. But yeah, interesting decisions. I know Kevin O'Connell's getting a lot of flack for the last 2 plays. I would say personally, in general, I think me and Casey both agree on this, that we think overall Kevin O'Connell had a great day with play calling. And in general, I mean, that's one of the best we've seen our offenses this year probably, and that was with 2 picks in the red zone, which is unfortunate, and we'll probably get to the quarterback thing eventually here too. But overall, Kevin O'Connell came down down to the last 2 plays of the game, the 3rd and inches and 4th and inches, does 2 tush pushes with Brandon Powell in the backfield. I would have to say I'm not really with the people who thought going back-to-back push tushes was like the worst idea ever. I think going back to back with Brandon Powell behind them was, but if you would have told me at the beginning of this game or any game, if you told me like, hey, if it ever gets down to 3rd and inches, do you think someone should go 2 push tushes in a row? In my head, I mean, like those odds are looking pretty damn good to get push tushes and make it a 4th down from inches away.
And Mullins had converted earlier on a quarterback sneak. And that's one thing I do want to say. Like, I get it. The fact that Powell came up, did come from behind and push. I get why they're going to call it that now. But I realized that the NFL fans have completely gone away from just calling it a quarterback sneak anymore. If anyone tries a quarterback sneak, it's always automatically going to be a tush push now. And I mean, I don't know, just kind of random and is what it is there, I guess. But I did think that was kind of funny. But also, like, I don't hate quarterback sneak in that scenario. I mean, I get it. Ty Chandler's having an amazing day. So I get it from that.
Yeah. I can see,
I could see giving it to him on 3rd down. And if you don't get it, then you get up to the line quick and then do it, and then do a QB sneak, tush push, whatever you want to call it. So I get it from that perspective. But at the end of the day, like I don't hate the calls as much as everybody else does personally. I mean, I get it. Quarterback, it's a high percentage play, a quarterback sneak in that situation.
I mean, it's the highest percent. I mean, to the point where they're trying to make it they're trying or not. Well, some people are trying to make it against the rules to do that.
Right.
I mean, it's been like, I mean, the talk of this entire season, honestly, is the push tush because it's been that effective for most teams. But I mean, I agree as far as let's see what Music Misery says. I think they should have faked the sneak and did a toss. Definitely could
I
have.
don't did it earlier on in the game with Ty Chandler, where they faked
Yeah.
the run and threw it out to him in the flat.
That was nice. That was really nice when they did that. That was a good play call. Yeah, they could have done that. I mean, then I would have preferred them probably. I agree with people like, yeah, Ty Chandler is having himself a day. You should probably put the ball in his hands. I do agree with
I would have done that. I would have done it on third down for sure.
I don't think the back-to-back push tush call, I don't think that was like the worst decision ever because I mean, it just the chances of us not making it are actually pretty slim. Unfortunately, we didn't. We should have had CJ back there. That part, the Powell thing, I agree.
Kind of how he's called plays and, whether in game or end of game scenarios. Because, yes, I mean, can you question his end of game play calling? Absolutely. I mean, we questioned it both during the Bears game. And then we saw certain instincts or certain aspects of it against the Broncos. And then, of course, on Saturday, we saw a few things as well with, kind of like those last couple of play calls. But at the same time, what we've all been begging for is for Kevin O'Connell to be a little more aggressive, right? And to me, going forward on 3rd and 4th down, in that scenario, he's trusting his guys to, in 2 plays, be able to pick up the first down. And that's one of the things that we've been wanting from him all season long, especially the last few weeks. And I saw some people we were talking to say, kick the 59-yard field goal. I don't agree with that. I mean, Greg Joseph's been shaky this year as it is. And I'm a Greg Joseph believer. I have been all year long.
It's starting to come down a little bit, though. I feel like
a little bit, but I in that scenario, I 100% agree. Go for it on 4th down. Try to really just take control of that overtime period and take control of the game by converting the first. We didn't do it, but I appreciate the fact that he tried to instead of just taking the easy way out and going for the field goal.
Yeah. Now I hope he doesn't change that going forward. That's the thing is like if you're going to be aggressive like that, you're going to lose some.
Right.
Of course. But the people who like they try and it doesn't work and they're like, all right, never doing that again. Like we don't want that to happen. So I don't want them to do that. But to your point with the field goal, I honestly would not trust Joseph to go out there and kick the 59-yard outdoors too. I think he misses, honestly. That's why in my mind, I'm like 4th and inches or kick a 59-yard field goal with Greg Joseph. I'm taking the 4th and inches every single time.
Absolutely.
If Greg Joseph would have kicked that and he missed, I think even more people would be pissed off than they are already.
Right. But I mean, but then some people say they wouldn't be. I disagree. I mean, at the end of the day, being a head coach, because like there's 8 different things he could have done. And if they don't work, someone's going to have a problem with it. And I will give you 100% end of game calls have been off since last season. I wouldn't even just say end of game calls. I would say short yardage calls. Because last year we noticed that a lot. 3rd down, he would take a deep shot down the field. It's like you need 1 yard. I get you're trying to get him off balance, but why the heck are you throwing it deep? So in that scenario, I get it. And again, end of game calls, yes, as well as short yardage. And this one pissed me off as soon as I heard it because everyone's here's the thing. People are going to tell you Kevin O'Connell's too nice of a guy and he doesn't take control of the team and all this stuff. So the people were mad at him in this scenario because they thought Flores was saying, hey, call a timeout. Don't run that play. Call a timeout. So like if Kevin O'Connell calls the timeout, right? And so people were mad. Like he didn't listen to him. This makes it even worse. Why isn't he listening to his defensive coordinator? Like, okay, here's the thing. If Kevin O'Connell listens to him and takes the timeout instead of just going with his gut, people are going to be like, why does Kevin O'Connell need the defensive coordinator to tell him what to do? What the hell's up with that? Like, it's just when I heard the argument of I can't believe he didn't listen to Brian Flores, I was pissed off immediately because I'm like, that's such a ridiculous statement. Mm-hmm. And then the fact of the matter is, and Kevin O'Connell explained it, their plan, he said every coach was in agreement on the headset that if the referees did not review it, the plan was Flores was saying call a timeout so that it gives the officials more time to look at it, which Kevin O'Connell then approached the officials and said, hey, are you guys looking at this? Should I call a timeout? And he said, we already looked at it. It's 4th down. It's confirmed. No need to stop the clock or anything. So that's why Kevin O'Connell wanted to keep the same offense on the field so that the Bengals couldn't adjust their defense. So the fact that people thought that Flores is trying to tell him to call the timeout to call a different play is absolutely asinine. And no matter what scenario no matter what road he goes down, which way he chooses, someone's going to criticize him for it anyway. So long story short, I think the people complaining about that whole scenario, it's like, you're just picking nits here. You're just trying to, I don't know, just trying any way to bury Kevin O'Connell if you can. And I saw the next two comments there. It's not time to pull the plug. Kevin O'Connell, he has room to grow, absolutely. But Gary's right. It's his sophomore season. We do need to remember there's a lot of time left for this guy to learn, and he's going to. I mean, he's showing us too much this early on in his career for people just not to believe in him at this point. So
yeah, I said the highs outweigh the lows. And then, I mean, if you put in the fact that, we don't have a real starting quarterback. I mean, let's be honest here. Outside of, I mean, I still want to see what we got in Hall, but the reality is, I mean, even with Nick Mullins, who is going to start this week, it sounds like, I mean, at halftime, you could have argued that maybe he should have been benched because he had 2 pretty bad interceptions. And then he comes out and then, saves his job for now because he starts balling out, taking some risks, which we do like to see because they worked on our sides. But so that's the thing. So, I mean, at the end of the day, again, you just know, like, all right, like Mullins is like, he is a better guy to have for our receivers because he can get the ball to him, unlike Josh Dobbs, but he is a backup quarterback. And this is what KOC is dealing with. I mean, whether people like it or not, I mean, it's tough for any coach. And at the end of the day, I mean, he still has, ever since Kirk has went down, I mean, I think he still has won more games than lost. So
I think this says like 3-3 with backup quarterbacks or something.
Is that what it is now? 3-3?
Yeah. But I mean, that second Nick Mullins touchdown to Addison, I'm just like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? And then he threw that, then like, because he's rolling out, I'm like, just throw it out of bounds. Then he throws into the end zone. I'm like, oh my God, that's going to be intercepted. And then somehow Addison comes away with it, and you're like, all right, you appreciate the cojones to throw that.
That's what you like to see out of any quarterback. That's what we want to see. That's the kind of stuff that you want to see from Kirk Cousins. Like, everybody has this conversation about Kirk Cousins, and anybody on the side of like, they like Kirk Cousins, if they want to find out something that Kirk Cousins doesn't have, it's those type of things. And sometimes you're going to make mistakes, but Kirk Cousins you don't really see him going and trying to make throws like that, which is smart a lot of the times. But sometimes I think that's what it takes to try to win a game, especially when you're in playoffs.
So many of those in 2017, did we see Case Keenum? Just those balls. He's like Stephon Diggs or Adam Thielen down there somewhere, just chucks it up, trusts his receivers to go make a play. Sometimes you just got to do it.
Yeah.
Which I mean, Kirk did do to Addison on that one Addison touchdown against the 49ers. Kirk threw an interception, and he got lucky that Addison just had the stronger hand and was able to rip the ball out of the guy's hands there. But yeah, I don't know. I again, anything, and I'm not sitting here trying to exonerate Kevin O'Connell from all criticism, because I mean, as we all know, I was very critical of Kevin O'Connell to start the season. I mean, I went on a 5-minute rant at the start of one of our Monday live streams because of some of the ways that he had coached. But I think people do need to realize it's sophomore season. He's had everything go wrong this year. Does that excuse the, some questionable end of game management type scenarios? Absolutely not, because you have what you have, and you need to be a good enough coach to outcoach your issues. And to this point, he has. But I mean, does he still have room to grow? Absolutely. And I think we were talking with SK on the group chat at one point over the weekend. He just kind of said, like, he's not on the hot seat now, but next year's going to be a big season for him. And honestly, I 100% agree. If they get a quarterback that they trust in here, and they bring back as many pieces as they can, and they make another run at it,
and if they're Brown,
and you just and the biggest thing, even if it's not from a wins perspective, you just need to see that the things that people are questioning with him, that he learns from those mistakes and he moves forward and grows with them.
Yeah.
So, and he still has 3 absolutely huge games to prove it this season with the pieces that he has. Like, because these next 3 games are tough games and games that you need to win. So, I mean, I think we're gonna know a lot about this team. I would say even just after next week. I mean, if we come out and we give the Lions a test and we pull it off, like, huge W. So,
oh yeah, massive W. But it'll be interesting because we will have Mullins again, like we already mentioned. So, where are you at with that situation? I mean, do you think it's a good time to? I'm not surprised that they're bringing up Mullins, but
no. And
if you would have if he wouldn't have had that second half comeback, I guess, or whatever,
then
would you be thinking?
There's questions for sure. Yeah. But I mean, the thing is. And Kevin O'Connell did, and here's the thing: people also want to talk about he doesn't hold his players accountable or whatever. Today I was listening to his press conference where he said, we're going to go with Nick Mullins. I was impressed with a lot of things he did in that game. He led our offense down the field, which I will say, from start to finish, this was probably the most consistent we've seen this offense in weeks, right? Like I thought Nick Mullins led the offense really well, but he's like, but you do got to take out, and he said those terrible decisions in the red zone, because he said you can't. He's like, he did a lot of good things, but we do need to make it clear to him, like those decisions in the deep red, that those cannot happen in those scenarios where you're literally taking points off the board in a game that was close. So and that's the thing. It's like, there's a reason Nick Mullins is a backup quarterback, right? It's the fact that he does what he did throughout the game. He took risks. He made good throws. He was in rhythm with the offense. He distributed the ball to his playmakers. But yeah, those, like the first interception, it's whatever, you way under threw it, and that's why it was picked off. But that second one was just a complete bonehead panic move, and he's probably gonna be the first person to tell you that. So I mean, I think we saw enough good things and enough consistency with the offense to where while you're still in it and you still have a shot at playoffs and you're still firmly planted in that 6th seed, that I think putting him out there is the best option. And yes, and I mean, and that the argument's going to be, it's like, but we know what we have. We saw it. You don't know you have in Jaren Hall, but it goes back to the argument of, but you know what you have. You know what you're putting out there on the field in a must-win football game. So it's a lot of rambling, but at the end of the day, I think they're making the right decision. And I guess the thing is, everybody's going to have a different opinion on what the right decision is at the end of the day.
Yeah. And it is. I mean, 303, he was 26 for 33 with 303 yards, 2 touchdowns, obviously the 2 interceptions, 3 sacks.
Inexcusable interceptions for sure.
Yeah, both those
way underthrown, and the second one was just like stupid, like,
yeah,
just take the sack, kick the field goal.
I mean, outside of those 2 plays, he had a solid game, or very solid game. So, I mean, the last time we had a 300-yard passer was probably with Kirk Cousins. So that's a big W for him, I guess, on that front. But the picks, they need to stop. It's hard to win any of these games when we keep turning the ball over. But yeah, so we'll see what's up with that. I do think we'll see how Nick Mullins plays for the rest of the season. But yeah, obviously he's the quarterback moving forward. But to the other position now, the running back position, Ty Chandler ended up with 132 yards on 23 carries with an average of 5.7 yards, 1 touchdown, the first rushing touchdown by a running back this season. He's had the best game of the year by any running back on this roster. What do you think should be happening going into this next game with Madison and Ty Chandler?
And I mean, and I think what I'm going to say is something that I've said multiple times, and I still stand by it, that Alexander Mattison is an effective running back, but he's much more effective when he's in like a 60-40, where he's the 40 snap share, because his style of running is so different than what the NFL wants. Because I mean, let's be real, like the main style NFL running back you want now is one of those guys with more elite quickness, quicker cuts, can get to the outside, and can catch the football in space and make things happen. Ty Chandler has shown us he can do every one of those things. And what made Alexander Mattison more effective was swapping in off the bench to spell a Delvin Cook. And you just get, when the defense isn't ready for that bruiser type running back, that's a big change for them, right? And that's where I think Madison is so much more effective. I do think that Ty Chandler is the better running back for this offense. So I do think you got to roll him out there, but also you can't just completely take Alexander Madison off the field either. But it needs to go back to, it needs to work with Delvin. It was more of like, what would you almost say, like an 85-15, maybe even a 90-10 snap share between Delvin and Madison. I think it needs to be a little bit more leveled out. Maybe, but not too much. Like I think we need to see like 60-40, 70-30, where Ty Chandler gets the bulk of the carries, but also Alexander Mattison just brings something different, a different style of running back, to where I think he needs to get in there as well. And Kevin O'Connell did also laud Ty Chandler's growth in pass protection this last game as well. So I think Ty Chandler is really sculpting himself back into I think he's sculpting himself into what could be a starting running back for years to come in this offense. But I do think you can't completely forget about Madison, because he does bring a skill set that I think is a good complement to a type of runner like Ty Chandler. But yes, I 100% think Ty Chandler needs to have the lion's share of carries for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I 100% agree. And I mean, that's the thing too, is that, like you said, I mean, even from a pass blocking standpoint, I think he had the highest grade from a pass blocking perspective for any running back on this roster this year. And that's what's crazy about everybody saying that he can't block and all that kind of stuff. So going forward, I mean, it'd be really annoying if they ended up keep going with Madison when Ty Chandler easily looked better than what Madison has done this entire season. So I don't know. They should do it. And I know that what the reports today is that Madison is probably going to get back into the practice this week. I don't know if he did today or not, but it didn't sound like there was any clear indication on who's going to be the starter other than saying that Ty Chandler will be for sure featured into the offense. Yeah, but you said that earlier in the season too.
Right.
Well, I think he will, though. Ultimately, what do you think he will do? Do you think it will be Ty Chandler at this point? Do you think Kevin O'Connell's like, because I mean, Kevin O'Connell, even though he takes so long to finally move to another player, it seems like once he makes that decision, when it's like hitting you so hard in the face that you can't make a different one, he seems to make that decision.
Right. I mean, he did say like,
hey, what up, Joey?
How's it going, Joey? He did say that he did say like we're still looking into that. Obviously, like you said, Chandler has to be featured. He's like, it doesn't necessarily matter who's going to take the first snap. So I mean, look, and I'm a as much as I criticize Kevin O'Connell, I'm a staunch Kevin O'Connell defender. I think he's a really good football coach, and I think he's going to be for years to come when he kind of gets things kind of narrowed down and kind of gets things where the fan base thinks they should be, I guess. But I think for him to not, if both running backs are healthy, for him to not give way more carries to Ty Chandler is a disservice to this football team, personally. Because, I mean, the reason that Nick Mullins was a lot more effective in the pass game was because we had a running game. And we've been calling for that all year long. But if we can get this running game going, it's only going to make the passing game more effective. So, right. I think it's if Kevin O'Connell comes in and he gives the lion's share of carries back to Madison, I do think it's a disservice to the success of this football team.
Yeah, and I mean, you should be showing players like, hey, if you're producing out here, you're going to get opportunities. Like loyalty, just because if someone's playing worse and you're keeping them on the field, what's that going to show the rest of the players? You want them to know, like, hey, if you're going to come out here and excel, then you should get an opportunity to play. Or or start. And not, I mean, that's the biggest thing out of all of this with Ty Chandler is just the chunk plays.
Yes.
Like, absolutely. I mean, 2 or 3 times he had at least 20-yard run or at least close to it.
I mean, 5.7 yards per carry. His long was 30. Like
long was 30 yards. Have we seen us? I mean, maybe we've seen 1 30-yard, not even a 30. I don't know if it's 30. I think last week was Madison's longest run.
Right.
I think it was.
Yeah. And I mean, the Ty Chandler, he's, used in fake punts and stuff like that as well. So, I mean,
right. So I don't know. You gotta keep going, Ty.
Every time the guys touch the ball, even in the preseason, like we were thinking that back to the preseason, like, dang, Ty Chandler looks like he could be something here, right? So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would be very disappointed if Kevin O'Connell just goes back to Alexander Madison being the main guy. Like at least it's got to at the very least be 50-50. At the very, very least.
Yeah, and it shouldn't even be that. I don't think, and I want to see Ty Chandler out there on the first down, 100%.
Yep.
Like first down or first down of the game or whatever on offense.
If you're gonna run it, which because we did run a lot on first down this last game.
No, I mean first down of the first.
I know
the first play of the game.
Yeah.
First
play
especially
if you're gonna. I mean, especially if you're gonna run it, I guess. But
if you're gonna run it, if you're gonna pass it, show that he's the starter. Whoever plays the first game is technically, or the first snaps technically the starter generally. So that's what I want to see. I want to make sure you're like, hey, he's going to be the starter, and then Madison's going to be spelling out Ty Chandler, not the other way around. So hopefully that's what happens going forward. Let's go into some of the wide receiver stuff here, because we already talked about the boy who had 6 receptions, 6 targets, 111 yards, and 2 touchdowns, and Jordan Addison. Huge game for him. I mean, that's his best. Yeah, that's probably the best game of his career at this point. Mm-hmm. And he was on fire up until these recent weeks, when I do really think that it comes down to, it's a Josh Dobbs problem. I don't think Josh Dobbs has the ability to get the ball around enough and use guys like Jordan Addison to their best abilities. And I do think you got to see that with him in this game, and not just Nick Mullins putting the ball where it needs to be for Jordan Addison to get it, especially on that first touchdown, where that was considered the least likely catch of the season by any Vikings wide receiver. And he was able to snatch it up without losing any speed and just turn the corner and bring it to the house. So
Music Misery, we don't have a Discord community set up, but that actually probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, we were doing one with Purple and Skull Media But
because we used to have like a WhatsApp chat with them. We could actually set up a.
Well, we should actually do that. Well, they were talking about doing it, and they actually did create one real quick, but nobody else kind of jumped in. But
Oh,
I do think we should do something like that for
good
sure.
idea, yeah.
Because that's like something. Obviously, that's like something where everybody can go in, like everybody in all our groups can go in and just bullshit on there.
Yeah, for sure. Probably, yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea.
I'd like
Do
to get
some-
an invite to that. Yeah. We'll get that set up.
Yeah,
But
absolutely. But yeah, man, wide receiver wise, like, and that's the thing. Depending on what way they go at quarterback, like, let's just say for now, like, this doesn't mean anything. That let's just say they do bring back Kirk Cousins next year. When it comes to the draft, unless I mean, I still think they should draft a quarterback no matter what. But let's just say they go with Kirk Cousins and they decide to roll with it for one more year. You don't need to add anything else to this offense in the draft. Like, I mean, because you have an offensive line that's solid, and all these guys are still signed right now. I mean, obviously you'll re-sign, what's his name, Christian Darrisaw, right? But if you roll with Ty Chandler and Alexander Madison next year, you set it running back. You have two really good receivers. Once you re-sign JJ under contract, you have a couple guys in there you can toss, draft or whatever at number 3. Maybe bring Powell back. Have TJ Hawkinson, you have Oliver, and you have Johnny Munt at tight end. Like, your offense is absolutely set. And then you can kind of start focusing on that defense. I do still think that first, second round, whatever, I do think there is a quarterback that comes into play here. But I mean, I think the main concern needs to be quarterback and defense at this point. Just because you watch the way this offense can work when your running backs and when the running back position and receiver position are both at their best. Like Ty Chandler, Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, like that's and TJ Hawkinson, that's 4 amazing skill players right there. So I mean,
right.
I don't know, man. I guess that all starts with just saying, yes, the receivers on this team are fantastic, and it's awesome that because JJ will get re-signed here. It's awesome that Jefferson and Addison and Hawkinson are going to be here for the next at least 3 seasons.
Yeah, any quarterback that comes in is going to be lucky. Just hopefully we have someone that's not a backup quarterback.
Right. And then once the Chargers get rid of Keenan Allen and maybe, whatever with Mike Williams, maybe Justin Herbert asks for a trade and we bring him over here. It's just going to be phenomenal.
Unless we pick our quarterback of the future next year.
Which again, very well could happen. So
Gary, Discord community, that's pretty much, Discord is like the best platform to bring a bunch of people together where they can just message each other and stuff.
Yeah.
Like without a show or whatever, like at any time of the day, like people could be chatting in there all day long.
For sure. Be a good thing. Yeah. This is a very, very short, succinct way of saying what I rambled on for probably about 45 seconds to just basically say this thing. If we keep Kirk and don't trust all offense, only offense should be quarterback. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's basically what I was trying to say. I just completely rambled.
I mean, that'd be crazy if we could keep Flores and he gets some more pieces back there. I mean, look what he's already done with Ivan Pace and Blackman. He didn't have his best game.
By the way, with this loss, Flores can't completely be absolved of blame. Like the defense got pretty soft in the fourth quarter. His corners, I mean, Caleb Evans. Okay, what is up with our cornerbacks and jump balls in the end zone that we just miss time jumps or like a Caleb Evans that was terrible. Blackman was thinking he already had the interception.
Blackman is just not aggressive. He's not. I don't know if it's his size or aggressiveness or what when it comes to like jump balls. He's so far pretty much any time I've seen him against a jump ball so far, he's gotten pretty wrecked every time. Like he's just got out muscled, like where he's just sitting there looking like. I don't know. Sometimes he looks like a deer in the headlight. Sometimes this game, I mean, it looks like he kind of tried, but I don't know. I don't think he's plays aggressive enough in those situations. So I think that's something that we need to see him trying to do. So we'll see what's up, but
yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I just don't think you can completely absolve the defense.
Yeah. Cause let's be honest. I mean, we were up, this is a game that we should have won that ended up losing because of our defense in the second half. The first half was phenomenal, but specifically the secondary, obviously Bengals caps off to T Higgins making some unbelievable catches.
Yeah.
But yeah, our secondary got destroyed. That 3rd and 21 that Jamar Chase got is inexcusable. I mean, that touchdown by T Higgins, come on. That should not be happening. It was straight Vikings defense type of stuff. And Flores has not allowed a single touchdown in the last 3 weeks. And he allows 3 in a row. Him and his defense allows 3 in a row at the end there that ultimately allows them to go to overtime. and then us losing that game. I mean, that's a game we should have easily won.
Which I split the blame up into thirds. Like, and it's not just Flores. I get it. It's defense. It's some of the Kevin O'Connell decisions, and then it's Nick Mullins. I think has got to be in there too with just that back-breaking interception. But again, at certain times though, like I said, I thought the offense, and that's the one thing that gives me a little bit of hope is if Mullins does just put those one of those mistakes on the back burner, gets us 3 more points. It's a completely different ball game. But that offense just looked in rhythm every play, and we were how many red zone trips? How many red zone trips do we have? 4 or 5 throughout the game?
Yeah,
and 2 interceptions. I just thought everything looked phenomenal. I just thought the offense just looked so much more enjoyable to watch than what we had seen in weeks past with Dobbs.
Studs, my boy Rap called you out Saturday night saying he'd kick your ass on Madden, gonna do live streams of games so we can enjoy. I was thinking about doing that with Madden. Everybody was like, Madden sucks. Madden sucks.
Well, Madden does suck, but
it's not so bad though. It's not bad. I don't mind it. It's the same thing every year. So I mean,
I am terrible at Madden though. I'm just awful.
Hey, I'll play Rap though for sure. I mean, I'm not that good, but I'll play him. I bet you I beat him. Rap, if you're still in here, let's play. I got it. It's cross-plat after for PC.
You get Madden 24, the new one?
Yeah, I got the new Madden. So, hey, I'm down. I'm game.
I've heard it's...
we could create a whole franchise.
I've heard it's pretty
create a franchise and do it.
But
it's been the cool thing about the new Madden though is they've made it so you can, it's not regular games but somewhat similar where you can play 3v3s online and stuff. Generally it was always 1v1s or whatever, obviously, but you could always want to be well, how come I can't just be the quarterback and then a buddy can be one of the wide receivers or whatever. This game they actually came in and you can actually play together against other people, which is kind of cool, I thought. Yeah. Though I was really hoping that there was going to be a 2K that there's going to be a 2K football because they were supposed to be, and it sounds like Madden Madden has a license for the NFL, so I think they kind of played that card. So I think we're getting a 2K for that. 24 to go to go free on ePlay.
Because I think 23 is on there now. I
probably I think you can get 15 hours or something like that, can't you? On that, maybe not for free.
I'm not sure.
I got it. It was half off when I bought it. It was $30 already. So I was like, well, I mean, any games that come out and they're $30 instead of 60 it feels like a steal.
Right. Absolutely.
I also told him next year he needs to get podcasters from opponents for every game year. That'd be bomb. Yeah, we've thought about that before too. The only hard thing with that, it's good for the people that we have, but it's not as easy. I would still be down to do it. It's not as easy as bringing new people in, I guess, but I would still do it. I mean, we've done it before, or we've done it a few times.
Yeah.
Which I have fun doing that because
you get a different perspective on things.
Different perspective, a little shit talking, all that.
I think it'd be fun to get Micro Mike back on one of these weeks.
Yeah, Micro Mike was a shit. I liked him.
Yeah, for sure. But some other, offense, we kind of went over most of that. I thought Justin Jefferson looked pretty good in his first full game back. And again, just what he does for Jordan Addison, man. As we pointed out earlier on in the season, that Jordan Addison was going to come in here and be an immediate impact wide receiver too. And with JJ on the field and with a quarterback to actually get him the football, those two are such a great wide receiver duo. It's phenomenal, man. JJ, the stats aren't going to look great, not great, 7 catches, 84 yards, but just opening up the field for Jordan Addison to be able to make the plays that he did. It's phenomenal to see. Seeing them both on the field again it's
awesome.
Huge.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Man,
huge.
you're wondering, you're just it's perfect too with having Jordan Addison is just the obvious wide receiver too now instead of KJ, what should have been in the beginning.
KJ had 1 catch,
and it hurts. It hurts not to knowing that it'd be interesting if Kirk Cousins was in there with Jordan Addison and JJ with how the offense is being ran now with those two. So that'd have been cool. But hey, it's still nice to see 300 yards out of Nick Mullins and see him use JJ and Addison the way he did.
Right. But if there is one thing, just kind of going to other quarterbacks for a quick second here, if there is one thing we've seen from these last couple games, especially this last game, is that I don't think Kevin O'Connell wants a guy who's going to just be a Josh Dobbs type who's like automatically, as soon as the things aren't going his way for 1 second, he's going to scramble around and get out of the pocket. I do think he wants a guy he can develop into a pocket passer first, who will then use mobility. If he needs to extend a play with mobility, he will be able to do that. So I'm excited to see if they can get a guy who has that skill set in here, what he can do. I think that'd be kind of fun. It'll be interesting to see. Just random tidbit thought there.
Definitely. We should do a Madden tournament and stream, dude. Yeah, that'd be sick. I meant Madden game, but that's what I was kind of thinking too. Like if you were against each team that you play, like this week we'd go against a Madden player. What we need to do is we need to find out who's the best Madden player in this group. I was pretty good at Madden a while back, but I didn't buy the Maddens for like 5 years. So now I've just kind of bought them, and I'm starting to try to get back into like figuring out how I play that game a little bit, but
I think
I'll still take down Rap. Let him know, Gary. Let him know.
But some other flipping to the defense, some other defensive standouts here. We had DJ Wanham with the sack and 2 pass defense. Josh Metellus with the sack. Josh Metellus, man, that contract's looking like an absolute steal. Daniil Hunter, 2 sacks. Dude's gonna make a shit ton of money. Then Jonathan Bullard, who's actually been playing pretty solidly this season, he registered a sack as well. So some good individual defensive performances there, but overall, would have liked to have seen a little more in the fourth quarter.
Gary, right now, I'm texting him. Yeah, dude. Would you end that with?
Some good individual defensive performances. I would like to have seen a little more in the fourth quarter, but I do trust Brian Flores to get it back to where it was. And it's in this Lions game, 100%. As we saw, when the Lions get hot, that offense is absolutely explosive. So he's going to have to bring his A game from a coaching perspective next week against that team with all the weapons they have. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a fun game to watch, especially if we can get good Mullins and not interception Mullins. It'll be fun.
And if we can keep that, if Flores keeps, hey, what's going on, McAndrews? If Flores can just be how he was, like you said, prior to the end of this last game, I think the Lions have Jared Goff has not been playing well lately. Maybe last game he had a solid game. 5 touchdowns, but before that, how many interceptions have he had? Yeah. And I think I trust Flores right now in our defense. Like, it's a weird thing to say this year, but you can honestly trust them for the most part. And I do think it's a game that's going to be a little bit more difficult for them on offense. So it'll be interesting. But like you said, I think it's going to come down to Mullins. And again, like we say every single week, I think it's going to come down to the turnover battle. And if we can, how many games we win this year if we don't have so many turnovers? A lot. The Bears game, the Broncos game, and this game. So I don't know. So I do think that we end up, I don't know for sure. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting show on Wednesday because I wonder if anyone's going to pick against us, Casey.
Call me up. I might. We'll see. I'm kidding. Goff is easy. And this is a big thing too. Like Goff
has been late
quarterback. If you can get after him, so this might be the perfect game for the Brian Flores defense to get back on track here.
Yeah. And yeah, hopefully he does. I think he will. And again, it'll just come down to our offense. Keep doing that and keeping those mistakes down. I do think we can win that game. I do want to bring up some PFF stats. I've yet to look. I kind of waited until this show to kind of take a peek at them. Let's start with some offense here. Ooh, Jordan Addison, number 1 with an 85.1. Ty Chandler, 79.2. TJ Hawkinson, 78.9. Justin, all of our wide receivers have themselves a game. 77.5 for all our pass catchers. Nick Mullen, 66.4. That would have been a really good score if he didn't have those interceptions. Johnny Munt, 65.7, 65.5. Quesenberry, let's see. Any interesting ones here? CJ Ham, Ed Ingram, KJ Osborne, 50.6. Brandon Powell's above him. I don't know. It's time for Brandon Powell might have to pass up KJ. One thing we need is I've never seen one of those little quick pass, screen pass things to KJ Osborne work either. I don't know why we try to push that so hard every time.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Let me get
and that's another thing. And that's another thing you can question Kevin O'Connell about is just playing to his players' strengths when he calls his plays as well. Which we both mentioned that multiple
Here he
times so far
comes.
this year.
I'll probably, yeah. Let's see. We'll see. We'll see if he comes in. All right. Let's get the defense here. So Byron Murphy, 83.5, run defense 92.5, Sheldon Day 76.5, Harrison Smith 65, 64.6, Caleb Evans 64.1, Ivan Paye 62.2, 81 in tackle. He still had a solid day. Obviously, it wasn't as crazy as this week before. Jay Ward, I didn't know he was in there for a play. God, man, he's getting plays before Lewis Seen.
Jesus.
Cam Bynum with
the Minnesota Vikings.
Cam Bynum with, and I do agree. This is probably he did allow that touchdown.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably one of his, probably the worst game of his.
Also, since when was Jake Browning the most slippery quarterback in the league? Like,
dude, I know
on the which play was that? Was that still in regulation where we had him basically dead to rights and he slipped out of that sack? Was that the play? Absolutely, Joey. 100% agree with that. Was that the play to Tyler Boyd when he slipped out, the one that basically set up their field goal? All I know is there's multiple times we had him in the backfield dead to rights and he somehow slipped out of it. Was able.
It happened multiple times.
Right, and then there was also, because it was funny. I was telling my dad I think it was the Higgins play, but I think it didn't Harrison Smith almost come up with a pick? It hit right off his hands and he dropped it. And I'm just like, I've seen a lot of times where a defender doesn't make a play and they make you pay for it on the next one. And sure enough, they made us pay for it on the next one, which is just unfortunate. But you see Browning got hit with a PED test. I did, probably because of it probably wasn't even because of the fact that they thought he might be on something because I
need him for fantasy.
But probably because he had that roid rage when he started yelling at the screen saying you never should have fucking cut me, which was ridiculous.
Calm down, bro. Calm down.
Yeah.
When Joey B's back.
Nobody here cut you, man. No one on this team right now cut you. And odds are they would have cut you last year anyway.
That's so annoying. I was surprised that he actually did that whole thing. Hey, I mean, the reality is, he came in, played well, and he's been playing well ever since he came in. I know, obviously, I'm into all this card stuff, and his value has skyrocketed. But so did Dobbs. It's funny because Dobbs literally, like, his cards were selling for, like, back in August, Josh Dobbs cards were selling. His one auto, his probably most popular auto, sold for, like, $60, something like that, and then it shot up to like $300, and then now it's down to like $50. So it's actually, his cards are worth less than it was prior to him starting for us.
Any chance the value of Anthony Edwards cards have taken a hit today?
Oh, it didn't. You see, no one even cares about the Anthony Edwards news. It sounds like I'm like, come on, Ant, keep it in your pants, bro.
And then don't put it somewhere where there's proof of what you say.
Yeah, right.
Don't hit send, as Herm Edwards used to say.
He'll probably drop 40 tonight, though, I'm sure. But no, I don't know, man.
40 points or $40,000.
Dude, he paid her 100 G's. That's crazy. I was like, 100 grand. That's what's crazy, though. The reality is, it's like the what's his name, PJ Washington from the Hornets, where he was with his girl or whatever, who was an Instagram model, and then knocks her up, and then she just straight out like told everybody that she just used him to get pregnant by him and stuff. And there's girls out there who are literally just trying to get pregnant by athletes. That's a real thing.
Here we go. Now we've opened up a whole nother can of worms. It might get us canceled, but let's.
It ain't gonna get canceled. It ain't gonna get canceled. That's the truth.
It's the truth. But anyway, back to Vikings. Back to Vikings football. Anything else to talk about the Bengals game? Really? Disappointing.
Not really.
Another coulda, shoulda, woulda. Let's be real. This team should have been 4-0 in their last 4 games. And there's a myriad of factors why we're not. Kevin O'Connell, yes, obviously he's the head coach, offensive play caller. Certain scenarios you're looking at, like, what are you doing here? Especially the end of the Bears game. And I will say it is fair to question. I don't question the play calls themselves, but the execution and the personnel on the field, 100%. I understand the concern with that. But so it goes on Kevin O'Connell. It goes on Nick Mullins for the terrible mistakes at times. The defense giving up the fourth quarter points. You want to talk about a team win. This was 100% a team loss, and there's blamed all the way to go around. But I do just think at the end of the day, the people calling for Kevin O'Connell's job just need to take a step back, realize what he's had been dealing with. Does that give him passes for everything that's happened this year? Absolutely not. He needs to learn from these mistakes, and I do think he will. I think he's smart enough and a good enough coach to do that. But yeah, I mean, it's disappointing, but you've put yourself in a scenario where it's must win games the next two. I mean, you need to win two out of these next three. And I'd love for them to just take care of their business at home. So you don't need to go on the road to Detroit in that last week of the season needing to win. I think these next two games are paramount. You need to win them both. Absolutely. They're absolutely both must win football games. And there's a lot of good that came from this game, a lot of good you can carry over, but things that need to work on. And Kevin O'Connell has shown us this season he can make adjustments and grow during the season. So I hope he does that next week, and he's going to need to. You're going to have to come out with your best stuff against this Lions team.
Yeah, 100%. And we'll see. I mean, if we lose this game, things are looking pretty dang bleak.
They are.
So, I mean, this is obviously we talked how many times
he kind of keeps doing what we need him to do. So the Packers losing, which is great.
Right. I mean, we should honestly, with the way our season's been, it's honestly ridiculous to think that we're still in a situation where we probably still have a good chance. I mean, it's up to us if we want to make playoffs or not. Absolutely. Or whatever, which is hilarious. But like what Joey said, we are what our record says we are. The crappy thing is, like, from a talent size, like, there's so many of these teams we should have beat this year. That's what's annoying.
And that's the frustrating part, because you put yourself in a scenario now where you need to win 2 out of these next 3. Yeah. Where, like, if you beat the Bears and you beat the Bengals like you should have, then you're sitting there like, okay, if we don't win the next one, we're fine. Or
we're already in
there, but you've thrown away too many games this season now to where it's paramount that you win these next 2.
I mean, we need the our back against the wall, I think, and it'll be interesting to see KOC how he responds to this. I mean, he's good at coming back in games. Let's see if he can come back and, towards the end of a season to make playoffs.
Mm-hmm. And then
that's a whole game.
People wanted him to apologize. Like they want him to come out and straight up say he made a mistake going for the 2 tush pushes. But I'd rather have a coach that's confident in his decision making, and he just kind of, he owns it, the fact that he messed up. And he did say that during the press conference. He said, it falls on me. I got to put us in better situations. Which, could it be coach speak? Sure, but every coach is going to say that. But yeah,
if we lose this game, you better start Hall the last 2. And I mean, Mick Andrews, you're right. I mean, if we make playoffs, I mean, who knows? Maybe we get lucky. I mean, the talent is there. We've seen stretches of where we could beat any team out there. It does suck that we don't. No matter what, we always have a backup quarterback throughout all the playoffs.
It depends on how you lose. If we lose a shootout where Nick Mullins plays turnover-free football and you still have a shot at the playoffs, you can't bench him. Like,
no.
You would need to lose. You would need to lose because Nick Mullins plays poorly.
You're talking about this week, but at the same time, like, Nick Mullins. If you lose this week,
if you lose because he makes more decisions like he did the last game, then you're probably thinking of putting Hall in there. But if you lose because if he played perfectly and you just lose a shootout game that kind of is what it is, I don't know. I think it all depends on how he plays this next game. I don't think it's necessarily a loss. Hall goes in. I think it's a lot. If it's a loss plus he plays poorly, then you're considering it.
Yeah, and you want to get a peek at what you want to get a peek at what you have in Jaren Hall.
But at the end of the day, I think they kind of already have it. And
I don't know. But how many times? I don't believe.
Which is maybe why he was the backup.
I want to. If you don't get real game, if you don't get real, I don't care. I don't care if you're the best coach in the entire world. If you don't get a player, unless they're really trash, but if you don't get a player and you don't get to see him in a real game, I don't think you can 100% just be like, this guy isn't ever going to be it.
Well, I mean, that was like, I do remember one conversation between Chris Thomason and Mike Zimmer where it was, do you want to see more of Kellen Mond next week? Not necessarily. Why?
He wasn't wrong.
Every week.
Yeah.
He wasn't wrong.
He wasn't wrong. Hey, I'm not saying that they're probably more right than not, but I'd like to, I mean, you put Jaren Hall already in the season at one point this year, and you got him to see a good drive.
If Nick Mullins is healthy, I don't think they do. I think Mullins gets the nod right away if he was healthy at the time.
Yeah, he probably does. I
Yeah.
agree with
But
that.
also, I mean, but the fact that they decided to roll with,
Hey, what up, Zoe?
but like I'm gonna completely like just like negate myself here. The fact that they decided to roll with him as the backup over Josh Dobbs tells you that they do have belief that if he has to go into the game, he's going to play well. And maybe that is just they know he's been here and he'll be able to run the offense a little bit better than Dobbs will, which I 100% get.
Yeah,
But we'll see.
we'll see.
But I mean, if they can go into
Football.
next year with Kirk Cousins, a rookie, and Jaron Hall to where you have every avenue open at quarterback, I think it'd be kind of cool.
Sounds good, music. Hey, we got you, bro. We got you. If you win, you win.
Absolutely.
JG Rap said he's gonna beat you like a redheaded stepchild. We'll see about that one. I mean, hey, he might. I'm not saying I'm good, but he has to show it's up. He's gonna have the pressure. He's gonna have more pressure than me. He's gonna have to. I'm gonna play the underdog card. I'll come in as the underdog, so I'm cool with that. I'll play. I'll do it. We can stream. I don't care how we do it. We can stream on here and play a game.
He beats stepchildren. I hope not.
Only the redhead ones, Joey. But no, it'd be fun. It'd be cool to do that. I wanted to do that prior, but everybody was like, Madden sucks.
I mean, it ain't great.
The cool thing about Madden that I really like is I think it's good teacher. Like if you actually pay attention and you want to like get a better understanding of plays and learn more football type of stuff and all that kind of stuff, it's pretty cool. I think. Yeah, we know, Gary. It's a figure of speech.
I would hope so.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I would say so. Like if you were like trying to really understand football and you went on there and it was kind of like a simulator in that respect. Look, unfortunately for me, I try to do that and then like the first quarter, I'm like, all right, whatever. Bomb it to Justin.
Where's JJ?
Yeah, where's JJ?
How can I get him just a Hail Mary? There we go. Run it. Four verts. Toss it deep. Which me and my buddy
4 verts every time.
We play the college football games like NCAA 2010.
Yeah,
and that's what it was so easy is to go 4 verts and toss deep shots. That's all we would do, and it works every time. It's college football.
It's really tough now. Actually, Madden I swear they've made it where it is easier to get a reception as the cornerback than it is the wide receiver. Right. Like I swear, you throw that ball up and the cornerback has a better chance, even if he's half the size as the wide receiver.
Yeah,
that's the hard part. So you got to like really make some good decisions. That's why this game was hard for me when I first started playing it again, because I was like, that was not how the last time I was playing Maddens. You just throw the ball up and your wide receiver most likely comes down with it if it's a one-on-one. Now it's like, no, you have to make some smart decisions.
For sure.
Pretty much throw to wide open players.
Yeah. So let's last little bit of time here. Let's take a really, really early look at next week's game against Detroit. What worries you about Detroit, and what gives you hope that we'll be fine?
Hope. My biggest thing of hope is Brian Flores. Even though he allowed 3 touchdowns in a row, I think he's our biggest hope against a Lions. I'm sure a lot of people would call high-powered, at least sometimes, most of the time this year. So I think that's the biggest thing. I think that would be the biggest thing, is to stop their offense, stop St. Brown, who hasn't actually been extremely productive lately. I think he did end up scoring a touchdown at the end of the game last week, but a guy that is really stepping up and being extremely productive is Sam Laporta.
Yeah.
Hey, there he is. When we playing, Rap? When we playing? Sam Laporta is looking obviously insane. I mean, he's been carrying my fantasy team these last 3 weeks. But yeah, he 2 touchdowns, like 100 yards, something like that. And then obviously the running backs Jamar Gibbs has been excellent. I think, I have him on fantasy too. I wish he was a starting running back completely, but obviously Montgomery's no joke either. They've both been playing really well. So I think our defense, but I think that's what I happy we have Flores. So I do think he's going to come in here, and if he has a good game with that defense, I think that gives us our best chance to win. My biggest worry coming up is going to be Nick Mullins. I mean, two bad interceptions earlier in the games. He is a backup quarterback at the end of the day, and you're relying on him, so he needs to kind of come in and play a good game. But I also want him to continue playing his game too. That's what's going to be scary about him, because I like to see him take these chances. That's what you got to do, and I don't really want him to not play his game. Otherwise, I don't know, it probably isn't going to work out well that way either. So I think Nick Mullins is my biggest worry on why we will lose this game. And then Brian Flores' defense coming back, bouncing back from the end of last week, I think is the reason why I think we win.
Okay. See, my biggest worry is I'm just gonna bring this.
I got you.
Gonna bring this up because I promise I'm not a bad fan. I'm just a man I'm just a dude who's trying to win some fantasy football money. What worries me is the offensive firepower. 24 points from Gibbs. Maybe 24 points from Amon St. Brown, 28 from Sam Laporta. All of them who started in my lineup, helping me get 162 this week with still a kicker to go. So that's pretty awesome.
Rap, who all had
kicking your ass in fantasy this week?
Who all said that they're trying to play you next week? Rap.
Which, by the way, in my two big fantasy leagues, I'm most likely winning first round of both by a lot. So that's huge.
Oh, speaking of that, is there any updates on? I think he's going to start Hurts.
Yep, it sounds like he is in.
Wow. That was Zay Flowers screwed me over big time yesterday. One catch. I don't care if anyone puts Flowers up to Addison again. You're all idiot. Addison's by far the best wide receiver, first wide receiver from the first round, or the best first round wide receiver.
In one of my
Zoe, Papa, Purple Papa, Joker, and a couple more. All right, yeah, I'm in. I can't promise. I don't know how. I'm not really that good. It's been a while, but hey, you never know.
In one of my leagues, the 1, 2, and 3 seed all got eliminated this week. So I'm the highest remaining. I'll be the highest remaining seed now.
You might win the ship. You might win.
I got a tough matchup coming next week. So we'll see.
Oh yeah. So this week though, the person I was against has Jalen Hurts, and I saw the Jalen Hurts news that he was sick, so I went and picked up Mariota.
Nice.
So I was up.
Did the same.
I'm up like 17 points right now, and now he has. And I was just hoping that Hurts wasn't going to play, but now that he is, more than I think he's only had less than that one time this year, and I think it was week 1. Oh no, last weekend, week 1.
He had 8 points last week.
Yeah, last weekend in week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Misery said, "Whoop your ass with a Switch." Whoop your ass with a Switch. He means a Nintendo Switch.
Dude, you know who's been huge? David Njoku for me these last couple weeks. He's been.
He stepped up. No, who screwed me over? Amari Cooper.
Breece Hall isn't doing me any favors.
No, Garrett Wilson screwed me over.
That was a rough week.
That's hurting me. I got Aaron Rodgers coming back, hopefully.
Yeah.
Even though
so next week, I have some decisions to make here because Jalen Hurts obviously must start. Kyron Williams, sure. Justin Jefferson, yes. David Njoku, yes. But so I have a combination of between running back and my flex spot: Breece Hall, James Conner, and Jordan Addison. Who do you play?
We're getting some Madden tournaments going on here. Okay. Who did you name those players again?
Do you trust Do I trust JJ and Jordan Addison to play them both this week? Because last week I started Jaden Reed and that worked out. He had 17 points, but now he has a toe injury. Who knows? I don't know. Breece Hall is an easy matchup with Washington, but I can't pull James Conner just because he does get so many touches.
Yeah. And James Conner scores again.
And Breece Hall,
good.
I don't
know, man. I love Jordan
Conner and put Jordan Addison in there, but do you expect him to do this twice in a row? I
don't know. It's a tough one. I feel like someone's gonna. Yeah, if you think Nick Mullins is come in and continue throwing 300 yards every game, then yeah. But I don't know if Right. It's a hard one to play both of them.
At this point, for me, it all kind of depends. For me, it depends on Jaden Reed because if Jaden Reed plays next week, I probably play him just because he's a focal point of that offense. If he doesn't, though, then I'm going to be forced into playing Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson. Because otherwise, my other receivers are Mingo and Elijah Moore.
Rap, is that your gamer tag or whatever? Game tag? I play on PC, so I have to get it through EA. We'll figure it out. And then Zoe, I know Zoe, you're trying to play some Madden too? That should be interesting. Let's go. Let's go. But no, dude, I don't know. I'm scared. I need Hurts to just have a terrible game. I mean, no matter what, he's probably sick today. So I'm kind of banking on it.
I will be okay with that. If he plays terrible this week, it's fine because my
Yeah,
dad has him. My dad has him, Devontae Smith, and the running back DeAndre Swift. But Devontae Smith and DeAndre Swift. But I'm also up by like 80 points, so it doesn't really matter. I don't think it's going to matter in that one. But he can play bad this week, so I don't need him. I don't need him to play well. But next week though, he's got to go back to being good.
So I don't know. I'm not really that good. I didn't play. I used to be pretty solid at Madden, but I stopped playing for years.
Me and one of my friends,
one of my
friends back in the day would play Madden like every Monday night to the point, and the score would be like 24-21, and we'd each have like 5 interceptions just because we just tossed the ball around the yard. We weren't very good.
See, that's the thing with Madden that's really annoying. Either I have a really good game, or for whatever reason, it just gets smacked on. Like everything goes, like I throw like 3 interceptions or whatever. And these new Maddens are kind of tough. You got to be like right on with your throws. Yeah. Hey, everybody in here, giving away Jordan Addison rookie card. 111 yards?
Yes.
111 yards, 2 touchdowns, 9 touchdowns on the season. 824 yards, I believe, on the season. This guy's a freaking beast. Get your hashtag skulls in the comments. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. All that good stuff. But get those hashtag skulls in here. Hey, what's up, Roger?
What's going on?
Hashtag skulls. We'll run this pretty quick here.
I don't know. That Lions game, I think it's gonna be a fun one though. Must win though. You got to win the next two. Next 2 home games, divisional matchups, Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve. You got hairball going halftime of the Packers game. You can't lose that. Which, by the way, if you guys could, if any of you use Facebook, go on Facebook, find the hairball Facebook page.
Hey,
vote for their guitar player to play the national anthem beginning of the game, because I guess they want a Minnesota born and raised person to play that, sing it or do whatever. Haven't played on his guitar. I saw him do it this weekend. National anthem on his guitar. Fantastic. Go vote for him.
So, Zoe, are you going to be the Lions? Can't beat me. You can't beat me. Oh, this is about to get interesting. I better not be the worst one. No, I don't lose. Yeah, buddy. No, we'll see what happens. But yeah, let's run this card here. See how many. I don't think we got a lot in here, so this is gonna go to someone. We got 5 entries. Always run no matter what. Can you get the better view for us? Okay, actually, never mind. I figured out. Right here. No, yeah. There we go. I tried with my kids and it sucked, so I gave it up. Dude, Madden's getting tough out here. You gotta play. You gotta play out. Face pink. Oh, I can see it on there. That's funny. I tried. I want Rap 1v1. It's happening. So, Rap, you're gonna be streaming these on your channel? That's what's happening? I like that. That's some good off-season content. That's going to be some good off-season stuff for sure. Because y'all call me a Lions fan. That's crazy. Hey, man, you live in Detroit. The only other Lions fan bigger than you in here is Casey. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, Zoe. You're not a Lions fan. I know. We're going to have to do the random for picking teams. All right, let's run this thing. Boom. Who do we got? We've got boom, 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 boom. Gary.
There we go.
Let's go. Gary with the W. Jordan Addison rookie card. Let's go.
We know where to find you.
Yep. Yeah, I want to. Yeah, any of you guys. I just came to the party now. I didn't even know about this Madden thing until literally 20 minutes ago. But I'm
all right.
in. But
Anything else before we hop off
oh
here?
yeah, a couple of things. So obviously, show Wednesday. We're back with Dave on that. Should be a good one. Pre-Lions game. Unfortunately, I can't see a way how we make it next Monday. Next Monday is Christmas Day.
That is true.
I was
I'll
thinking
be up
about,
north.
and I was trying to think of like maybe we push it to Tuesday or do it Sunday, but he'll be up north those days. And Tuesday, the day after Christmas, is almost just as busy as Christmas Day half the time. So I don't know if we're gonna make it back on here until the following Wednesday, which will for sure be back. So and then Thursday we should be back on Purple and Scold Media with some sports betting stuff. I'm also in the discussion to kind of do some more sports betting type of stuff on our channel here as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting.
For sure.
Hey, Joey,
appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you, Joey. Our guy right there, 100%.
Absolutely.
Question: Who's going live? Who's going live for what? The Madden stuff. But anyways, either way, hopefully we beat the Lions, and then I mean next week it will be Packers. I mean, hopefully we don't even have to say anything because this Monday because of the whooping we did to the Lions on Christmas Eve.
I mean, 2 in a row, man. 2 in a row. That's all you gotta do.
I'll be having some good bets on FanDuel. Let's go. We'll be doing I'll be finding out. I'm going to be connecting with a close buddy of mine who actually has one of the biggest channels, one of the bigger channels when it comes to daily sports and stuff and parlays like Prize Picks, DraftKings, FanDuels, all that kind of stuff. So he's going to give me some help or whatever. Gonna give me some advice. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But don't be surprised if you see a little bit more of that involved with some of our stuff. Always going to be a Vikings channel first, but might bring in a little bit of that just to have some fun.
For sure. But
who's going live for what? After the game? Or what do you mean for the Vikings content? Like when go live when? Right now I can, and I'm in Massachusetts. You can do it there. Yeah, that's gonna be one thing. That's a good question.
I can bet on certain things in Minnesota. I think you can still do like Prize Picks and that type of stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
You can't do like actual like. I guess I don't even know what you can't do in Minnesota because I know it's not
I don't know if you can do sports book in Minnesota. Maybe you can. You might be able to. I know some people who still do that.
How to get? We got everybody. Okay, we do have everybody asking us for merch. We should probably start like putting together an order.
I know. Our boy Gary.
Yeah, I know.
Which I was looking into hats, but it's so I don't know what to do. We can buy a bunch of hats in bulk. That's what we should have just done. I almost wish we would have bought hats in bulks instead of shirts.
If you guys want us to buy hats in bulks, drop some donuts. I'm kidding. But also,
like just a daily podcast. I don't know. All right. I'm a little confused what you're asking. So like every single day, who's doing that?
Does anybody
like a live stream
for the win? Does not live.
I mean, rap push
every day, right? Yeah,
almost every day.
Pretty much every day. Yeah.
Ours is ours is every day. We gotta link up for ours. Majority of the time. So we have to work around schedules and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I mean, usually we're pretty consistent. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we have streams / videos and whatnot. So
yeah. So I mean, we got us, Rap, Zoe. Man, we got a lot of people.
Yeah,
Dave
usually does some.
Dave, SK. I mean,
yeah.
Justin, obviously. All those guys. We got the best ones in the business. That's all I'm saying. But
absolutely. But eventually, yeah, we'll have to, because I know my parents are asking about like sweatshirts and stuff too. I mean,
I know we got a bunch of t-shirts, but everyone wants sweatshirts and hats.
Right. Though my parents did say that they would take some of the t-shirts, but they're like, how about Christmas presents? I'm like, I got to recoup some money for those. But also,
I know I ended up giving, I sold one to my wife to give to her mom.
Yeah.
Already. But it's all good. Saturday night at 10, never tap in with y'all. Gonna tap in. 10 o'clock. Y'all
Saturday
never
night at
tap
10.
in.
I'm in bed. I'm at
I've
Saturday
been
night.
tapping in. I tap in sometimes. I need to tap in on the actual show. Oh, on the actual show? Yeah, I know. I want to do it. It's just been so busy during this season. Like we've already, like last week we missed 2 shows, which we shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But
and honestly,
during the off season, I'm gonna tap in though for sure.
I'm not really focusing on content on the weekends. Saturdays are for the boys, as they say.
For me, it's my wife. And I mean, hey,
those pesky wives. Always
if you're making content all week, then Saturdays are a tough one. But during the off season, when things slow down as far as football games and stuff, I definitely plan on tapping it. Actually, this off season in general, I'm gonna start going pretty hard. So, but yeah, dude, I wanna pop into your guys' show. I almost did one time, but I was like, I don't know, it was late and I was drunk, even though it was probably the perfect time to do it.
It's late and I was drunk.
We'll get on there, dude. Hey, we appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
But all right, guys. Yeah, we'll be here Wednesday with the school experience. I'd be drunk, LOL. Well, I just like got back and then I hopped in to say what's up, and then everyone sent the links, and I was like, oh, I was like laying down and stuff. I should have just did it. That was my bad. I should have did it. Casey hunting some tail. Yeah, that's what he needs the Saturdays for sure.
Yeah. I'll let you know when it starts working.
Let's go. Hashtag 2K. Yeah, let's get to 2,000 subscribers.
Actually, I want to get to 4K first, and that being 4K watch hours, which we were under 100 hours away in these last couple weeks. We have not helped ourselves whatsoever.
Yeah, we screwed ourselves, but we're going to get there.
Around like 110 now, which sucks. But the longer we sit here and talk with you guys watching, the better it's going to be for us. So we'll just ramble on for a few extra seconds here. But hey, sleep stream. We'll do a sleep stream sometime. How about that?
Just sleep.
Kidding.
That's pretty much what everybody already does.
Yeah, right.
But all right, guys, we'll head out now, though.
Yeah,
all right,
everybody for hopping in.
Keep me updated on all this Madden stuff, and we'll be back here Wednesday. Talk specifically about the Lions game this week. It's going to be a big one. Hopefully, we end up taking the W here.
Yeah, very important game. I mean, we're moving on into must-win territory. So, but everybody, thanks again for hopping in. Joey, we appreciate the tenor.
Let's go,
and we'll see you guys. See you guys next time.
Skull Vikes.